Cliftonville FC is Ireland's oldest football club. It was formed by John McAlary, the treasurer of the cricket club of the same name, who wrote an article in the September 20th, 1879 edition of the Belfast newsletter asking for gentlemen desirous of becoming members to turn up for a practice session the following day. Those who did played against a team of rugby players by the name of Quidnuncs a week later, in the first match between two Irish sides. Resisting the professionalism embraced by other Irish league clubs in the last decade of the 1800s, Cliftonville defiantly retained their amateur status until 1970, when, having finished bottom of the Irish League for 11 consecutive seasons, they finally decided to become a semi-professional outfit and pay their players. 1970 was also the last time that Cliftonville would play their cross-city rivals Linfield at their home ground of Solitude for nearly 3 decades. The troubles which lit up Belfast and beyond throughout this era were well underway, and when there was trouble at Linfield's Irish Cup final versus Ballymena United, hosted at Cliftonville's Solitude ground, the Royal Ulster Constabulary decided fixtures involving Linfield, Ireland's foremost Protestant club, could no longer take place there. Though Cliftonville had not been competing that day, there had been skirmishes between the local Catholics and fans of the team from Windsor Park. The population of the area around Solitude had largely been comprised of Protestants and Unionists, but as Catholics and Irish nationalists became displaced from other parts of Belfast as the Troubles progressed, many moved to locations around the lower Cliftonville Road. This meant that by the end of the decade, Cliftonville FC's fanbase had become almost entirely Catholic. By the end of the 1970s, a hardcore of Cliftonville supporters, the Red Army, frequently clashed with fans of rival clubs traditionally associated with political unionism. In the Irish Cup final of 1979, Cliftonville and Linfield fans engaged in fistfights on the Windsor Park pitch before the game had even kicked off, and before Cliftonville won the trophy for the first time in 70 years. Early in the following season, Cliftonville played their North Belfast rivals Crusaders at their opponent's Seaview ground, and the Royal Ulster Constabulary saw fit to put 1,000 officers on duty. That was 3 times more than had been on duty at Ibrox the previous Saturday when Rangers had played Celtic, 10 times as many as when Arsenal played Manchester United that same day, and a staggering 15 times more than at Liverpool's first fixture of the new season at Anfield when they played West Bromwich Albion. 16 years later, their troubles still lingered. In October 1996, a match between Portadown and Cliftonville was abandoned when supporters of the travelling team and the buses they had arrived on were attacked by a mob throwing stones and brandishing placards emblazoned with the words "No Republican Scum" in mid-Ulster. Cliftonville's fans were prevented from entering Portadown's Shamrock Park by the Ulster Volunteer Force, and when the players realised what had happened, they refused to appear for the second half. One Cliftonville supporter declared that as much as he loved his team, it was only a matter of time before somebody is killed, and no football match is worth that. When it was suggested earlier that year by a chairman of a rival club that Cliftonville should withdraw from the Irish League, a Cliftonville board member, Stephen McKillop, had remarked, "We're the oldest club in Ireland. We were founder members of the Irish Football Association. Our ground is the oldest in the Irish League. We were playing before the rest of them. Sure, we're not going to be the ones to leave." Yet there was hope that change was on the way. On April the 10th, 1998, the Good Friday Agreement saw the culmination of a series of paramilitary ceasefires and intense negotiations between Northern Irish politicians and the British and Irish governments, resulting in a new system of government in the region. On the pitch, Northern Irish football's own Good Saturday moment came about later that year on the 21st of November. Linfield were finally permitted to play at Solitude again after a 29-year absence. The match kicked off at 11 a.m. and the attendance was capped at 1,500, of which only 500 could be away fans. For the event, only 325 Linfield supporters made the trip across the city, and every single junction along their route was sealed. When they arrived at Solitude, they were welcomed by Cliftonville fans congregated at the waterworks end of the ground, holding up a banner declaring 100,000 welcomes Linfield.